know why he hates us so much if he watches everything we do.
Yeah, you love us. Don't lie. Welcome to Real Talk. I'm Valeska, your host for everything real estate in the island of God. In this podcast, we'll have real talks with property experts that will give you all the insights you need. So, whether you're a property pro or just curious about the real estate in Bali, you're in for a ride. Welcome to another episode of Real Talk. This one is a special one because neither Joe or I know what we're talking about. We are going to answer some of the comments that were left on our platforms and hopefully dissipate any doubt that you have about investing in Bali. So let's see what people have to say about what we say.
Yep.
And yeah, so we're going to have a live reaction. But first, coffee, of course. Can we... This is...
or whiskey or something strong.
Yeah, probably we should spike this. Nice. So we're not sponsored by Blacklist, but if you guys want to sponsor us, we're very open to it. And let's get the questions so we can start straight away.
Okay.
I don't know what any of this says. I mean, I've probably read them at some point, but okay. You ready?
Yes. Hit me.
These 4 questions are all from the same guy. Let's see. All I can say is whoever bought these are mugs. You haven't sold them, you have leased them, there's a difference. They do not own the land or property. You simply took 29 years rent in advance. You didn't sell anything. And I think by the looks of it, he's talking about our video on black sand. What can you say about this?
We've done so many videos and we're very upfront about freehold versus leasehold, that when you lease in Bali, you're buying a lease for a certain period of time. You cannot own the land outright. So you buy the lease for a certain amount of time. It's a little bit different to just renting because you can do whatever you want with that land. Of course, there is a period of time where that may expire, although you can extend it in the future. But most of our clients are buying this for the investment side of it, where you're getting returns quickly. Most of our clients are looking at returns between 5 and 7 years. So the fact that it's a leasehold and not necessarily freehold like we would have in our own country, we're very open with that, and we're very upfront to our clients that this is what they're getting into.
Yeah.
But from an investment point of view, I don't think it matters. You're not buying this for the capital gains and trying to hold on to the property for 50 years like you would at home. So,
and that's the first thing, but also specifically for black sand.
Yep.
I don't think that this applies because they are so successful. I think that they were at 18% ROI at some point.
Yeah.
So I would say that was like a smart investment on the...
Yeah, and I have a feeling we'll get into more of this as it goes on, but a lot of what we, again, talk about when we do our live streams and our content is that we're very picky with what we actually take to sell to our clients. Location, design, and price are the 3 most important things to us, and therefore black sand is one that is just at the pinnacle of everything, right? It's led the way over the last few years. So black sand is amongst some of the best investments that we've had. But anything that we advertise and sell to our clients has to fit certain criteria. For sure. Okay, so he says, stick with freehold, waste of time showing leasehold. So again, first of all, we're very transparent about the difference between freehold and leasehold. We never advertise anything differently. So when you get leasehold, like we say that you're getting leasehold and what it entails to have a leasehold. So yeah, let's just... I mean, the most obvious is that there are legalities that come with this, right? You can have freehold as an Indonesian citizen, but not as a foreigner. The only way of having freehold would be HDB, Agunan Bangunan, which you have to set up a PTPMA for. You need a certain amount of investment in that PTPMA. You can buy freehold, but they changed the title. So it's not a true freehold, and it's not a typical freehold like an Indonesian citizen would have. It's broken down into 30 years, 20 years, and 30 years, which you pay according to the tax valuation with the government at the end of the 30, at the end of the 20, but it's not a typical freehold. So, of course, if freehold was openly available to everybody, I'm sure it would be very interesting, but it's not.
Yeah.
So leasehold is the most flexible way of doing it.
And also, like you mentioned, it's purely investment, right? Yeah. So it's not something that you're buying to pass on to your next generation.
And so most of our clients are looking at how quickly can I get my money back? 5, 6, 7 years, whether I do daily, monthly, yearly rental. For them, if they get their money back within 5 or 6 years, they're extremely happy. Even if it's within 7 or 8 years, the leasehold doesn't really matter too much to them because they still have the ability to triple, quadruple their money over that term.
Exactly. Then after you get your return back, you have 20, 25 plus years, even more if you get an extension. Okay, so 29 years lease means you will never own the land or the villa. You're paying rent up front, basically. They are also too afraid to put up the price even on the website. They will only tell you on WhatsApp. This is not an investment. Stay clear. So this is, I don't know, I think Joan's house. We're very transparent about this.
I think when it comes to pricing, we always put prices, unless it's something that's specifically requested as a price on application, which is what a lot of other agencies will do. We're very open. We'll always put the price. This is one specific example which I can remember over 5 years, so it doesn't happen very often.
This was requested by the client to not put the price.
Exactly, so, which is not also something that we would recommend to a seller anyway, because we are as transparent as we can be. But it's still an investment. Just because it has a certain term or a certain period of time, it doesn't mean that it's not an investment. It's just a different type of investment. And I think people relate property to their own country, where you solely focus on the capital gains, which is I'm going to keep my property for forever, and it's going to be worth a lot more. But that's not why people are investing here. So,
And also about the pricing, I think that this particular case, it's because the villa is at a very high price point. So I think that this also serves as a filter on whoever isn't interested, like really, really interested, then we need to, have proof of funds and everything. So it's a little bit more tricky than just like or average villas where they're at a lower price
But I think
point.
if you look on our website, 99.9% of villas have a price. So we're very open with that.
Okay, so comparable places like Singapore and Dubai. Are you nuts? How can you compare Bali to them with Bali having zero infrastructure, 7 million visitors, and all stuck in traffic? The market is going the opposite way you're talking about. The best time to invest was 2019-20, and the best time to sell is now. And this was on your video about 2025 real estate market.
Okay. We are not saying that Bali is better than all of those investments. We think the returns are extremely good here, but it depends what you want. If you want lifestyle, if you want infrastructure, whatever it might be, you have to take a little bit of the rough with the smooth here. What we rely on is tourism, and that's why Bali in general struggled during COVID, but has recovered very strongly because 70 or 80% of the income on the island comes from tourism. That tourism also comes throughout the whole year. So it means that if you have a villa here and it's successful, you will have an occupancy throughout the year, which is 70 to 80%. Somewhere like Dubai is completely different. And if anyone thinks that Dubai and the amount of development in Dubai is less than Bali, they're crazy, because Dubai is also going through a building boom at the moment, and there are thousands of vacant apartments there. Bali is going through a building boom, but fortunately we have the tourist numbers to keep up with it.
And also, like, not only we have the visitors, but there's a huge amount of people that come here to be digital nomads for a certain period of time, like 3-4 months a year.
I think people like to stay here long term, right? Even the Dubai residents like to escape Dubai and come here for part of the year. traffic is bad, but I also lived in London for a few years, and sometimes it took me 4 hours to get to work in London, right? So I don't think it's, yes, it can be bad, but it works in Bali somehow. It's bad in other places as well.
There are very few problems that we have in Bali that we don't have anywhere else. Yes, like traffic, you can get traffic anywhere. All right, next question. All the properties on this channel are so fake looking. Okay, I like this one because it means that, like, you know, for me this sounds like a compliment more than, you know, it's like they look fake because they're so nice that people think that they're fake.
Yeah,
I think that this is good. They're not fake. They're not at all fake. They exist. There's a lot of them everywhere. They do look as nice as on camera in real life, so that's important. And I think that this comes down to us being very selective with the people that we work with and making sure that what we promote is what the clients are going to end up having.
We get an enormous amount of requests from developers to work with us. Fortunately, over the years, we've been able to pick and choose who we want to work with, and a lot of that is not just based on design, location, and price, but also credibilities of the developer and who we're actually working with. So we're fortunate that what we showcase is the best of the best. We're also fortunate enough to be able to turn down what we don't think is the best of the best if we don't think it's right for our clients. So they're not fake. They're real.
They're real. They're very real. And we have a lot of happy clients to confirm that. All right, let's go to the next page. So do not take this advice. You are not buying a villa. You're simply signing onto a 20-year lease agreement. Jesus. There is a vast difference between what he is scamming you on by saying you're buying something that you most certainly are not buying. I don't know if you were the scammer one or Peter.
I'm the scammer.
Yeah. You will never own the villa. Fact. These people are scammers and they are shameless. They are liars. Ooh, you spelled that wrong. And this type of selling is illegal in America, the European countries, and the UK. 70% of the world countries have made this an illegal act.
David has too much time.
I think so. Oh, wait, but then we replied to that. Thanks for sharing your concerns. It's important that conversations around property investment in Bali remain transparent and well-informed. Just to clarify, in Indonesia, foreigners cannot own freehold land, which is why many villas are sold under leasehold. And then the answer gets cut. But then he replies to that. 80% are young people living in them, not renting. What? Okay, David, where are you getting your numbers? It's dead money, and you know it. You're part of the problem. Again, I don't know if typo of like spelling mistake. You're also, I think it's a spelling mistake. So it's like apostrophe RE. Also driving up rent for locals that can't afford the rent now, and all thanks to people like you. Are you not ashamed? You say you give honest advice, yet you keep saying you're selling them a house, when in fact that's a lie. It's a lease agreement, nothing more.
I would really love a phone call with David just to
understand who hurt you in Bali.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, just, we're not forcing anybody to invest in the island.
No.
We're just sharing honest information based on our client's experience. I don't think, one, we are not forcing the island to be too expensive for locals.
No,
we're talking about pieces of land that a lot of locals would never want to buy themselves anyway, or invest in themselves anyway.
And also, I think this is a conversation that it's very hypocritical because, I mean, we're not forcing locals into selling those lands either.
No.
These are lands that are for sale.
Yes.
From locals that are very happy to sell them. Yeah. So it's not like they're gonna do anything in those lands. Most, like they got it for free from generations. So it's not something that they're interested at all.
Leaseholds have been around for the last 30, 35 years in Bali, and it's a generational thing, right? So it's their grandparents and then their parents, and now the kids are benefiting from leasing out that land or extending that land, right? Of course, if the opportunity comes where they want to develop it themselves, absolutely no problem. And they do. A lot of them will lease part of their land so they can develop another part of their land, right? So I don't think we're taking anything away from anybody. There is no obligation to lease your land out. There is no pressure to lease your land out.
And
completely
I think
their decision.
A lot of Balinese, because, for example, my landlord, I live in a local villa, so he's got a plot next to my villa. 20 ara. He's got offers from so many people on that land, and people that are willing to pay a lot of money on that land, and he doesn't want to sell it, and he's not interested. And I mean, these people are like, I've heard some of the offers, and it's crazy. And no matter how much money he's offered, he's not interested in selling that land for whatever reason, and he's not selling it. So I think that this is like a common thing with Balinese people, that some of them are like, I don't care about money, and I just want to keep my land.
For some of them, it's just a time thing as well, right? I'm not ready to do it now, but in 5 years' time, when my children are going to university or whatever it might be, then I want to do it.
And also, 80% of the people living in them are not renting. That's absolutely backwards, I would say.
But I think, like I said in the last comment, a lot of people do buy to have the flexibility of living or renting their villa out. There are, of course, a lot of people who buy villas here so that they can live in it part of the time, but also have the flexibility to rent it out when they're not here.
But it's not at all the majority. And by far, like, the people that buy villas with us, at least, I don't know other agencies, but with us are investors that are interested in making money. So again, no, I don't know where you get your information, David, but you should source it better. And again, we are very transparent about leasehold, freehold, what you get. So we are absolutely not scamming anybody. We're not lying about anything. Everything is very transparent from minute one. And I think that that is important for everybody, for the client, for the buyer and the seller, but also for us as an agency. And we need to build credibility. And if we had all these people that we sell to were unhappy about what we did and how we did it, we certainly wouldn't get any more clients.
We wouldn't still be here.
No. It's impossible to sustain a scamming business for 6 years. And there is another comment from David. David, you love us. Don't lie. Don't lie to yourself.
I don't know why he hates us so much if he watches everything we do.
Yeah. I think you kind of love. Yeah, I think you kind of love us. Okay, so no one pays that on rentals per night in Bali. Go on Airbnb and take a look at the prices. Average price on a villa like that is $62 a night. Okay. So
we use AirDNA.
Yes.
To get our numbers.
So our numbers are based on what AirDNA is.
So AirDNA gives you an overview. It's around the world, but it gives you an overview in Bali of all of the villas, guest houses, rooms, whatever it might be, and gives you an average price, average occupancy.
So it takes it from
into
Airbnb,
actual villas, actual areas, things like that. I have said many times, there are a lot of older villas that have not been updated, not kept up with the demand that is here in Bali. And of course, the way for them to occupy their villa is to change the rental price, right? However, what we always talk about for the newer villas is design, location, and price. You need to buy your villa at the right price, but doesn't matter what the price is, you have to be in the right location. You have to be the right design. And that's because the audience for it is very demanding these days. They know what they want. the rates that we give are not fictional. They're not made up. We take them from actual villas. We take them from actual clients and villa owners to get to the numbers. But we're also conservative with those numbers. We know that it's not a straight line to rent your villa out in Bali for a year. It's not just going to stay $150 a night for the whole year. That may drop down to 100. That may go up to 200, right? Yeah. But what we try and give are conservative averages throughout the year. But they're not made up. They're numbers that we take from clients, from data, from actual villas. And we also have plenty of finished villas with rental reports that show the actual numbers.
Yeah. And I think that, because I've seen around a lot of comments about this lately on Tang community and such, about how the occupancy is dropping, the rental prices are dropping, and I would love to know where these people are taking this. Like, I mean, my prices are not dropping.
No, and I mean, we have experience of a lot of clients that have villas that are still extremely happy, and I think they're able to tailor what they want from their rental income based on how they want to rent it out. So some clients, okay, I don't want to be involved in daily rental this year, or I don't want to wait for the money. Let's do yearly and get the money up front. Still very strong. I agree. If you go onto Airbnb and you search Canggu tomorrow night, there will be a lot of choice. But that choice, a majority of it is made up from the older villas. Yeah. And there are the villas that they need to drop their price. What we tell all of our clients that buy villas is you need to keep your villa up to date with the times. So if over time styles have changed, you need to update it, you need to change the color scheme, you need to change the styling. It's very easy to do here in Bali because it's very cheap and it's very fast. But if you don't do that, you will get left behind. And it's very simple. This is not something you have to do every 6 months or every year, but I'm sure 4 or 5 years down the line, the styles will be a little bit different in Bali. And in order for you to keep up with that market, you need to adjust your style.
I mean, it's very simple. If your villa is Instagrammable, then you're set, because everybody wants to, I've said it many times, everybody wants to come to Bali and show that they're in Bali, living the Bali dream. All right, I think last comment. Of course, a real estate company tells you to invest. Far from unbiased information, Russians are leaving, Chinese tourism has a heavy decline, supply heavily outgrowing the demand, and long-term rentals prices are dropping.
I disagree.
And a lot of Chinese.
Prices are not dropping because land prices is not dropping, right? Everything here is dictated by the land price. Yeah. That's, the first purchase you make when getting a villa is going to be the acquisition of the land. The land has just gone up and up and up, whether it's Canggu or Uluwatu over the last few years. Everywhere on the island, it's continued to rise. So that's where everything starts from, and that's what dictates the prices. That means that prices haven't dropped. What we're quite transparent about is that a one-bedroom villa in this area has a certain price, and it doesn't matter who the developer is, what the quality is, what the style is. There's only so much it can move up and down based on the land value, based on the building cost. Yeah. A 2-bedroom only has a certain price. A 3-bedroom only has a certain price. So I don't think prices have changed, and I don't think we're reliant on any particular nationality coming or going to change those prices. We're quite transparent that the prices will always be at a certain level based on what you have. And nothing has really changed for us over the last few years regarding that.
And we have said this in so many videos and so many times. So like you said, the most important thing, location, design, and price. All right. Well, I think this is it. I think we did, we did the round.
And I think for anyone that has concerns, they can always reach out to us. They can speak to our sales agents, marketing team, whoever it is.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of channels like YouTube, Instagram. We put out a lot of content that takes a lot of effort from us. That is available for free for you. We also have an investment guide that we recently updated. So you also have all that information there. It's completely free. So you can just message us and we will send it to you. And that's it. So thank you, Joe, for your insight.
Speak to you all soon. And David.
And David, please come back. Yes. I think maybe you need attention. We'll give it to you.
Yes.
And for the rest of you guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave us any comments, any concern. We're always happy to reply. I think we should do a live soon.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.